Emma was an ordinary student with a big dream: to master English. But like many beginners, she faced challenges. She had learned a few words, but conversations were difficult. One summer day, as she sat on a train, two women sat across from her, chatting in English. Their words flowed effortlessly, but Emma could barely understand them. She hesitated for a moment, then decided to speak. Using simple words, she introduced herself and said she wanted to learn English. To her surprise, the women smiled and understood her. That small moment filled her with excitement and confidence. Before this day, Emma had studied English only in books, but speaking was something new. The two women were kind and even gave her their phone numbers, inviting her to visit them in England. That short conversation sparked something inside her, a strong desire to improve. From that day forward, Emma made a promise to herself. She would practice English every single day. She started translating short texts, watching English movies, and repeating sentences aloud. It wasn't easy at first. Some words were hard to pronounce, and she often forgot meanings. But she didn't give up. She kept learning, kept trying. After 6 months of daily practice, Emma saw a huge difference. She could understand conversations better, express herself more clearly, and even think in English sometimes. But she knew this was just the beginning. If she wanted to truly master the language, she needed to immerse herself in an English-speaking environment. That's when she made a life-changing decision. She would go to London to study. Emma had made up her mind. If she wanted to truly master English, she had to surround herself with the language. So, with excitement and a little nervousness, she packed her bags and moved to London. Her first day at school was unforgettable. She stepped into the classroom, feeling both eager and anxious. The students were from different countries, all there to improve their English. Then, their teacher walked in, a young, kind, and enthusiastic woman. She greeted everyone warmly and asked them to introduce themselves. When it was Emma's turn, she spoke in English, feeling proud of how much she had improved since that day on the train. The teacher then explained something surprising. "In this class," she said, "we won't focus on textbooks. Instead, we will use English in real-life situations every day." Emma was intrigued. Back home, she had studied English by memorizing grammar rules and vocabulary lists, but this was different. She would have to think, speak, and interact in English all the time. As the lessons continued, Emma realized how effective this method was. Instead of struggling with confusing grammar exercises, she practiced English naturally, talking with classmates, describing her daily experiences, and discussing different topics. She started to see English not just as a subject to study, but as a tool for communication. Each day, she gained more confidence. Simple conversations turned into deeper discussions. Ordering food at restaurants, asking for directions, and even making new friends. All of it became part of her learning journey. London wasn't just a place to study, it was a classroom itself, and Emma was learning faster than she ever imagined. But her journey was far from over. As she settled into her new life, she realized that to improve even more, she needed to expand her vocabulary. That's when she discovered the most powerful technique for learning new words. After settling into her English course in London, Emma quickly realized that improving her vocabulary was one of the biggest challenges. She knew that learning new words would help her speak and understand English better, but she often felt frustrated when she couldn't remember the words she studied. One day in class, a fellow student asked the teacher, "What's the best way to learn new words?" Emma leaned forward, eager to hear the answer. Their teacher smiled and said, "The most effective way to learn vocabulary is through reading." She explained that people who read regularly learn words twice as fast as those who don't. This idea excited Emma. She loved stories, but she had never thought of reading as a way to improve her English. The teacher encouraged the class to read at least 30 minutes every day, but not just any book. "Choose something interesting," she said. "If you enjoy the book, you'll remember the words better." Inspired, Emma went to the library and picked a simple novel. At first, she struggled. She found many words she didn't know, but instead of feeling discouraged, she followed her teacher's advice. She used a dictionary only for important words, and she didn't write them down. Instead, she kept reading. Over time, something magical happened. She started recognizing those new words in conversations, in movies, and even on street signs. Emma also noticed another benefit. Reading didn't just teach her words. It showed her how words connect in sentences. It helped her understand grammar naturally, without memorizing complicated rules. Excited by her progress, she made reading a daily habit. Through this method, Emma realized that learning vocabulary wasn't about memorization. It was about exposure and practice. And just like that, English started feeling easier, more natural, and more enjoyable. As Emma continued reading every day, she saw a huge improvement in her vocabulary. Words that once felt foreign started to feel familiar. But she knew that understanding words on paper was different from using them in real conversations. She wanted to practice speaking more. But how? One day, a classmate mentioned something interesting. Many students in London found part-time jobs to practice their English. The idea excited Emma. A job would not only help her earn some money, but also give her a chance to use English every day. That afternoon, she went to the school's job centre and asked, "What's the best job for a student like me?" The lady at the desk smiled. "You have two good options. You can work as a cleaner or as a waitress in a cafe. Since your English is already good enough, I'd recommend working in a cafe. You'll get to talk to customers and improve your speaking skills." Emma didn't hesitate. She applied for a job at a small, cozy cafe near her school and was hired. At first, she was nervous. What if she didn't understand the customers? What if she made mistakes? But after her first week, she realized something surprising. Speaking English at work felt easier than speaking in class. The customers were friendly, and even if she made mistakes, they didn't mind. Her confidence grew with each shift. She learned how to take orders, have small conversations, and even joke with regular customers. By practicing English in a real-life setting, she felt her speaking skills improve faster than ever. Emma's job wasn't just a way to make money, it was a powerful learning experience. She was no longer just a student studying English. She was living in English. Working at the cafe was an incredible experience for Emma. Every day, she interacted with customers, took orders, and had small conversations. She was no longer afraid to speak, but she noticed something. Her pronunciation wasn't as clear as she wanted. Some customers had to ask her to repeat words, and she sometimes felt frustrated. One afternoon, after work, she shared her concerns with her teacher. "I feel more confident speaking, but I think my pronunciation needs work," she admitted. Her teacher smiled. "You're already doing great, Emma, but I have a technique that can help you improve even faster. It's called shadowing." Intrigued, Emma listened carefully. Her teacher explained that shadowing was a simple but powerful method. You listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say, at the same speed, with the same rhythm, and with the same tone. It's like being their shadow. That evening, Emma decided to try it. She found a YouTube video with a clear English speaker and put on her headphones. As the speaker talked, she repeated every word immediately, copying their pronunciation and intonation. At first, it felt strange and difficult, but she didn't give up. She practiced for 10 minutes every day. After just a week, she noticed a difference. Her words sounded smoother, and she felt more natural when speaking. Customers at the cafe understood her more easily, and she even received compliments on how clear her English was becoming. Excited by her progress, Emma realized that pronunciation was just like any other skill. It improved with consistent practice. And thanks to the shadowing method, she was now one step closer to speaking like a native. After practicing the shadowing technique for a few weeks, Emma felt her pronunciation had improved a lot. She was more confident at work and could communicate more smoothly with customers. But she knew that learning a language wasn't just about speaking well. It was also about using it in real-life situations and building connections with people. One afternoon after class, her teacher made an announcement. "If you want to practice English in a fun and natural way, join an extracurricular activity. Playing sports, joining clubs, or even casual meetups can help you improve without feeling like you're studying." Emma loved the idea. That same day, she went to the school's reception and asked about available activities. The receptionist smiled and handed her a list. There were options like table tennis, football, drama club, and even an international cooking class. She had always loved sports, so she decided to join the football team. That evening, she went to her first training session. The field was filled with students from different countries: Brazil, Japan, Russia, Spain, Argentina, and Italy. As they played, they naturally started talking, using English as their common language. At first, Emma was nervous, but she soon realized that nobody cared if she made mistakes. Everyone was focused on playing, laughing, and helping each other. She learned new words and phrases just by listening to her teammates. Phrases like "pass the ball," "great shot," and "let's win this" became part of her daily vocabulary. Through football, Emma not only improved her English, but also made new friends. She felt more connected, more comfortable, and most importantly, she was enjoying the process of learning. For the first time, English wasn't just something she studied, it was something she lived. Emma's confidence in speaking English grew as she participated in extracurricular activities and made new friends. But she still wanted to learn faster and speak more fluently. One day, a new student named Elizabeth joined her class. She was from Italy, and when she introduced herself, everyone was amazed by her flawless pronunciation and fluent speech. Curious, Emma asked, "Elizabeth, how did you learn English so well?" Elizabeth smiled and said, "I never went to an English school in Italy. I learned everything on my own using 3 powerful techniques: reading, shadowing, and thinking aloud." Emma listened carefully as Elizabeth explained her method. First, she read every day. Instead of memorizing long word lists, she read books, news articles, and short stories that she enjoyed. Whenever she found a new word, she looked it up in a dictionary and learned it in context. Second, she practiced shadowing. She listened to English audio, news, movies, or podcasts, and repeated the sentences immediately, trying to match the speaker's speed and pronunciation. This helped her sound more natural and improved her accent. Third, she used the thinking aloud technique. She forced herself to think in English instead of her native language. Even when she was alone, she spoke out loud about what she was doing or thinking. For example, instead of thinking "I need to buy milk" in Italian, she said it in English. "I need to buy milk." Emma was impressed. These techniques didn't require textbooks or classrooms, just daily practice. She decided to follow Elizabeth's method, knowing that fluency was within her reach if she stayed consistent. After hearing about Elizabeth's successful learning methods, Emma was more determined than ever to improve her English. She started reading daily, practicing shadowing, and thinking aloud whenever possible. But even with these techniques, she knew that learning a language was a long journey. One day, she decided to ask her teacher for final advice on how to stay motivated and make consistent progress. Her teacher smiled and said, "Emma, learning a language is like planting a tree. You won't see results overnight, but if you water it every day, one day it will grow strong and tall." Then, the teacher shared 4 key tips for mastering English. 1. Read, listen, think, and speak every day. The best way to improve is to surround yourself with English. Read for at least 30 minutes a day. Listen to podcasts or audiobooks. Think in English instead of your native language, and practice speaking, even if you're alone. 2. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Many learners hesitate to speak because they fear making mistakes. But mistakes are a natural part of learning. The more you practice, the better you will get. 3. Set clear goals and stay consistent. Whether it's learning 10 new words a day or practicing pronunciation for 15 minutes, setting small, achievable goals will keep you motivated. 4. Enjoy the process language. Learning should be fun. Watch movies, listen to music, and engage in conversations. The more you enjoy English, the faster you'll improve. Emma left the classroom feeling inspired. She now had all the tools she needed, not just techniques, but also the right mindset. With dedication and daily practice, she knew fluency was within her reach. Learning English is a journey, and every small step you take brings you closer to fluency. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and most importantly, enjoy the process. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more English learning content. See you in the next lesson.